Hello, today we are going to be discussing the 4 quadrants of operant conditioning, as you can see right here. Before we begin, this video is not about classical conditioning. That's a separate topic and we'll cover it in another video. So what is operant conditioning? Operant conditioning is a learning process that allows you to make behavior stronger or weaker based on the consequences that follow them. If an action produces a desirable outcome, the behavior increases. But if an action produces an undesirable outcome, the behavior decreases. That's all it is. Positive reinforcement is when we add something the dog wants in order to increase a behavior. The dog does something we like and we reward it. Because the reward follows the behavior, the dog is more likely to repeating. Basically, it's adding a desirable consequence to strengthen a behavior. Examples: the dog sits, you reward, so sitting increases. Dog comes when called and you reward with a ball, so recall increases. Or maybe dog looks at you, mark and reward, and engagement ends up increasing. Negative reinforcement is when we remove something the dog finds unpleasant in order to increase a behavior. The dog performs the correct action and the pressure or discomfort stops. Because the relief follows the behavior, the dog is more likely to repeat it. So negative reinforcement is simply the removal of something unpleasant to strengthen a behavior. Examples: you apply light leash pressure, dog moves with you, pressure turns off, following increases. Dog sits, spatial pressure stops, so sitting increases. Or maybe dog goes into a heel, e-collar guidance turns off, and the heeling ends up increasing. Positive punishment is when we add something the dog finds unpleasant in order to decrease a behavior. The dog does something we don't want and we apply a consequence. Because that consequence follows the behavior, the dog is less likely to repeat it. So positive punishment simply means adding an unpleasant experience to reduce a behavior. Examples: dog jumps, you apply a leash correction, jumping decreases. Dog bites the leash, you add a verbal no, biting decreases. Dog breaks a stay, you add spatial pressure, breaking stays decreases. Negative punishment is when we remove something the dog wants in order to decrease a behavior. The dog does something we don't want and we take away access to a reward, attention or opportunity. Because the dog loses something valuable after the behavior, that behavior becomes less likely. So negative punishment simply means removing something desirable to reduce a behavior. Examples: dog jumps for attention, you turn away, jumping decreases. Dog bites too hard during play, you stop the game, so biting decreases. Dog screams for food, you remove the bowl, screaming decreases. Dog breaks a stay, you remove the reward opportunity, breaking stays decreases. And those are the 4 quadrants of operant conditioning. Each one simply changes behavior by adding or removing something to increase or decrease the behavior. Thanks for watching.